I know somebody else in my life who is almost exactly like that. I came up with Jonathan Richman, the Modern Lovers, and then he was in that movie. If you don't know who he was in that movie Something About Mary. He was the balladeer with the guitar, and he gets like shot at the end and drowned.
But he also wrote the song Roadrunner.
Yeah, that I loved that song when it came out because that was, again, one of these things is not like the others. There were groups like, these glittery, guys with eye makeup on and big hair, and all of a sudden there's this guy that can barely sing going, Road runner, going faster miles an hour. I'm in love with the modern world, modern sound, modern Boston town. And he was from Boston, and I got to meet him early on. And he took me on the road with him because he thought I was funny.
Oh, wow.
But it was all based on just his purity. He says, who am I to stand in the way of the next George Burns? And he really did say that. And I said, well, that's nice of you, but I don't know what I'm doing. He says, so what?
Wow.
And he left me out there. And I had to learn real quick, like that was that vigilance thing again. I didn't really need to have anything ready. I was born ready, with plan B and plan, 19 and 20. But that was a great experience. He was so pure. Sometimes he would show up with no instruments. And they'd say, well, what are you going to do? And sometimes he would just come out on stage and he would do the percussion to his songs and walk around on his hands and knees and put on a show because it all came out of him. That's what I love more than anything is people don't expect magic to come out of a human being. It always has to be facilitated by something like a concert now. It's lights and bombs and it's an event. Mm-hmm. Even the songs are taped, but people don't give a fuck.
Right.
They don't because it's an event. So the idea of someone standing in front of you, buck nude, and creating magic is almost gone. And he'd had a song, he was another child view of the world.